So with us our journey.
Zdrasty. Hello, I'm coming to Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, to see many of its famous landmarks and monuments, learning about its colorful culture and traditions, getting to know the people of this land as well as its communist past by visiting many of the Soviet-era memorials. I'm determined to prove that I am not as dumb as a rock, and praying my long list of sins out of its beautiful historical churches. I mean, many of its churches. Not to mention, going back 2,000 years on its underground metro, and of course, checking out many of its food options on a budget. All done under 2 days, all done safely, inexpensively, and easily. The best of Sofia, and you are invited. Situated in the Provence Valley at the foot of Vitosha Mountain in the western part of Bulgaria, known as Serdica in the antiquities and in the Middle Ages, Sofia has been an area of human habitation since at least 7000 BC. Today, Sofia is the 13th largest city in the European Union and home to a population of 1.7 million in its metropolitan area, and one of the fastest growing, multicultural, and modern cities. It's filled with rich cultures, amazing food scenes, nice people, and of course, budget friendly. So let's get going and see what we can discover. Sofia is well connected from most major cities across Europe and served by many budget airlines, including flights from Barcelona, London, Rome, and Paris, just to name a few. There's also airport metro that takes you to the city center. As well, daily trains from Bucharest and Istanbul to the Sofia Central Station. There's also long-distance buses from cities like Belgrade, Vienna, Paris, and Berlin. But in my case, I begin my journey in Pristina, the capital of Kosovo. There's no direct buses, so I'll be transferring Skopje, the capital of Republic of North Macedonia. This leg of the trip takes about 2.5 hours.
So welcome to Skopje bus station. We have just arrived and I was surprised when I got inside there is that there's a money exchange with a really decent rate. So you can exchange your money right away and buy the new tickets towards Sofia. With that being said, let's get going because our bus is leaving in 10 minutes.
From Skopje to Sofia takes about 4 hours. Not so bad. In no time, we have arrived at the Sofia Central bus station.
So welcome to Sofia. I have finally arrived here at the bus station. So now one thing you will have to do is exchange a tiny bit of money here at the bus station. Not a lot because the exchange rate is not great. And there's many ways of getting down there. The first way is free, walking 2 kilometers away. Number 2 is basically by taxi, more expensive and luxurious way. And number 3 is by public transportation. It costs about 1.8 li. With that being said, I think today I'm going to take the lazy way, which is a taxi, because I have 2 ladies with me and we're going to split the fare. With that being said, let's get going.
I recommend you exchange it for Bulgarian lei at one of the major banks or foreign exchange bureaus in the city center. And no matter what, do not exchange your money on the street. Be warned. The city center is only 3 kilometers away from the station and all the attraction feature here is accessible on foot. That's why I recommend you stay nearby. And I'd like to thank my accommodation sponsor Hostel also for providing me with a very comfortable accommodation for the filming of this episode. They offer clean dorm beds and private rooms with free towel, free all-you-can-eat breakfast, and free dinners. And the best of all, free beer. Thanks guys. So let's get started.
So we're going to start our journey right here at Sofia's most famous landmark, the National Palace of Culture, or NDK. It was opened in 1981 to celebrate Bulgaria's 1300th anniversary and is designed by a team of both Bulgarian and international architects. And today is the largest multifunctional conference and exhibition center in Southern Europe.
The National Palace of Culture is a spectacular spectacular example of scope and ambition of architectural design under the communist government in Bulgaria. This enormous landmark was built in 1981 in celebration of 1300th anniversary of the Bulgarian state. It's a hexagon shape with a mass concrete and glass, with more than 10,000 tons of steel used for the construction of the NDK. That's more than 3,000 tons more than the Eiffel Tower. The main function of the building is a concert hall, but it also hosts exhibition and trade fairs. Some of the most famed contemporary artists have performed their work at the palace, including Andrea Bocelli, the opera singer, violinist Nigel Kennedy, and soprano Dara Takova. The landscape of the Bulgaria Square in front of the National Palace of Culture was made by another team of architects and landscape engineers, led by Atlas Agra. Each year, the square put on a huge New Year's event, which started in 1984. Next to the square is Sofia's main commercial street, the Vitosha Boulevard, named after the nearby mountain. This is a 2.7 kilometers filled with Western brands in case you become homesick. But I got no love from my boss when it comes to being generous for giving me a shopping budget for Tommy Hilfiger's, Hugo Boss, or even H&M. Maybe I'll find more love just nearby at the Lovers Bridge. I heard there is a lot of beautiful ladies there.
Now this pedestrian bridge right across from the National Palace of Culture doesn't have an official name, but its nickname is Lover's Bridge, or Bridge of the Lover, because it is used as a meeting point for young people in love.
It is not known who given this bridge this nickname, but it is a fact that a lot of couples in love enjoying sitting on the bridge on a summer evening and watching the car pass by below their feet. The Lovers Bridge have been popular in recent years as an exhibition place. There's several open-air artwork exhibitions being on display during the summer. Although I didn't find love here, at least I do love the mighty golden arches fries. I'm a little homesick as well. So let's grab a taste of America and do some quality control.
So I haven't had a McDonald's in a very long time, and I want to compare our American McDonald's and the McDonald's they have here in Bulgaria. So I ordered American McDonald's fries. So let's check this out first. That's not... Our McDonald's fries are golden and crispy. Okay? But let's try out the Coke. Coke is okay. Let's see if this is okay. It tastes like rubber. This, not okay. Hi. They are just laughing at me right here. Anyways, I've been finished up since I paid for it. Bon appetit.
I feel a little stupid coming all the way to Bulgaria to eat McDonald's. What a crime. So let's hope that I am not as dumb as a rock. To find out, only takes about 2 minutes walk to the Earth and Man National Museum. It's dedicated to the priceless meteorological collection and covers 40% or 1,523 kind of minerals out of more than 4,200 of all known naturally occurring minerals, as well as man-made ceramics made by the Bulgarian scientists.
So this is actually one of the interesting museums you can come and visit here in Sofia. It's called the Earth and Man Museum. It's actually one of the largest mineralogical museums in the world, opened in 1987. And in many of the weekends, they have special exhibit where you can come and find some of the rare minerals and rocks that can only be found here in Bulgaria.
First opened in 1987 and housed in a historic building that was constructed at the end of the 19th century as part of the Sofia Arsenal complex. Today, its collection includes 27,000 items gathered in 7 permanent exhibits. On the first floor is home to a giant crystal exhibit, including crystals rarely encountered in nature that are as tall as they are. Including the exhibit include quartz, apatite, flora, and others. The neighboring exhibit, Earth's Minerals, include a wide variety of minerals which are also very rare. At the far end of the first floor is Peter Tratev's collection, the founder of Bulgaria's Speleology Society. Among the most interesting of these items collected over 45 years of exploration are the cave pearls. The second floor is home to 291 minerals found in Bulgaria, organized by region. The Vitosha exhibit includes two-phase drab-like crystals, titanium, and a collection of decorative cut stones. From Kremakotsi, there's various types of barlites. From Mandrova, there's orphite, native bronze, machelite, and katakatsit. They are displayed almost all types, both cut and uncut, including rare precious stones. There's also part of the museum space reserved for temporary exhibits, as well as a gift shop at the entrance selling a wide range of minerals and general information about the museum.
Yeah.
Only 600 meters away, there is a large park built in 1954 on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the liberation by the Soviet Army. Bulgaria was ruled by a Marxist-Leninist ruling party from 1946 to 1990. During this period, there were many Soviet-era monuments that were erected and dedicated to its soldiers, often portrayed as freedom fighters. At the center of the park is a monument and dedicated to Russian military forces who aided Bulgaria during World War II. It salutes a soldier from the Red Army as a freedom fighter, surrounded by a Bulgarian woman holding her baby and a Bulgarian man. However, today, the park has become a popular hangout for young people like me, as well as a ground for artistic expression and social stands and counterculture radicals, including many protests taking place in this park. Along the way to the next attraction, you pass by the Patriarch Evtimiy Square, named after the Patriarch of Bulgaria from 1375 to 1393, one of the most important figure of medieval Bulgaria. As well as this creepy statue in the middle of the garden in front of the University of Sofia. It's dedicated to Kliment Ohridski, a disciple of St. Cyril and Method, and the patron of the university. Another memorial is called the Monument of Gratitude, dedicated to the courage of Bulgarian Orthodox Church and the politicians who opposed the deportation of Jews to a German-run concentration camp. This action led to a saving of 48,000 Jews from execution by the Nazis' annihilation plan. Also nearby, you'll pass by the main building of the University of Sofia, the oldest higher education institution in Bulgaria. Founded in 1888, 10 years after the liberation of the country, it is now home to a student population of 24,000 and has been consistently ranked as a top university in international rankings, being constantly among the best 4% of the world universities. Our first historical cathedral we'll visit is right across, and just 200 meters away. This Neo-Byzantine style cross-dome basilica is not only one of the symbols of Sofia, but is also one of the 50 largest Christian church buildings in the world and third largest Orthodox cathedral located in Southeast Europe with a capacity of 10,000. The majestic structure towers 148 feet at its gold-plated dome and at its highest point of 152 feet with its cross. The temple bell tower holds 12 bells and that weighs total of 23 tons. The bell can be heard within a nearly 10-mile radius. So this is another landmark here in Sofia, is St Aleksandar Nevski Parish Cathedral. It's built by the Bulgarians to commemorate soldiers from many nationalities who fought between 1877 to 1878 in the liberation of Bulgaria from the Ottoman Empire. And the reason there's a lot of lineup is because today is Easter Sunday. The cathedral's construction began in 1882 but was not completed until 1912 and finally sanctified in 1924. It's named after the 13th century Russian prince Saint Aleksandar Nevski, the personal patron saint of the Emperor Alexander II of Russia, who ruled the country during the Liberation War of Bulgaria. The church was built to honor those who sacrificed their life during the Russian-Turkish War of 1877 to 1878, which liberated Bulgaria from the Ottoman Empire. Sadly, it was heavily damaged in World War II when American and British planes bombed Sofia. The cathedral occupied an area of 3,200 square meters. Rare and expensive material used to furnish the interior of the cathedral, including the marble come from Munich, the metal was sourced from Berlin and manufactured in Vienna, and the mosaic journeyed all the way from Venice. Next to the cathedral is the oldest church in Sofia and dating back to the 4th century. Outside of the church is a monument commemorating the hundreds of thousands of Bulgarian soldiers who died in the war defending their homeland. The monument was designed by architect Nikola Nokov and was opened on September 22, 1981, the 1300th anniversary of establishment of the Bulgarian state. The tomb of the unknown soldier features an eternal flame and guarded by the sculpture of a lion, the national symbol of Bulgaria. The St. Sophia Church was originally dedicated to the wisdom of God. It is believed that the city of Sofia was named after this church. The original structure was erected on top of the hill near the ancient city of Serdica in 343, and over the next few centuries, several other churches was constructed and only to be destroyed by the invading forces such as the Goths and the Huns. The present basilica is believed to be the 5th structure to be constructed on the site and was built during the reign of Byzantine Emperor Justinian I in the middle of the 6th century, between 527 to 565 AD, with numerous tombs and remains of several smaller and earlier churches in its foundation, also including a Roman theater existed in the 2nd century. During the Second Bulgarian Empire, the status was upgraded to the Metropolitan Church. During the 16th century Ottoman rule, the church was converted into a mosque. The original 12th century fresco was destroyed and the minaret was added. In the 19th century, 2 earthquakes destroyed one of the minarets, and the mosque was abandoned. Restoration work began after 1900, and today the St. Sophia is one of the most valuable pieces of early Christian architecture in southeastern Europe. Adjacent to the church, you find 2 gardens, the Aleksandar Nevski Square with the monument of Tsar Samuil, erected on June 8, 2015 on the occasion of 1000th anniversary of the death of the great Bulgarian ruler. In the adjacent garden in front of the military club, there's a monument of Bulgarian volunteers in the Liberation War. It's dedicated to the Bulgarian volunteer units who fought with the Russian army against the Ottoman Turkey in the Liberation War of 1877 to 78. Russians are the 4th largest ethnic group in Bulgaria, and the most famous Russian church is the Church of St. Nicholas the Miracle Maker. The church was built on the site of the Tsar Mosque, which was destroyed in 1882 after the liberation of Bulgaria by Russia from the Ottoman Empire. It was built as an official church of the Russian embassy, which is located next door and was named, as a tradition for diplomatic churches, for a patron saint of the emperor who ruled Russia at the time, Nicholas II of Russia. Few doors away is home to the National Art Gallery and the National Ethnology Museum, both housed in the building of the former King's Palace, the residence of the Tsar. The Ethnology Museum was first established in 1892 and its purpose is to collect, preserve, and exhibit everything connected to the Bulgarian cultural wealth, including displaying Bulgarian folk arts and craft from the 17th century to the 20th century. Now this is definitely an interesting gallery for you if you're interested in Bulgarian culture and its people. It's housed in the same building as the National Art Gallery, so you can basically kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The museum possesses a collection of more than 50,000 items organized under several categories: clothing, goldsmith craft, copper objects, ritual objects, wood carving, agriculture, ceramics, fabrics and embroideries, home furnishings, carpet from every region as well as foreign art. In the first decade of the 20th century, the museum will qualify as one of the richest in the Balkan Peninsula. The museum has the largest collection of traditional folk dresses from every part of the country and represent detail its structure and composition in both formal dresses for special occasion and day-to-day casual wears. The National Art Gallery was established in 1934 and moved into the palace in 1946 after the abolition of the monarchy. Currently, the gallery houses over 50,000 pieces of Bulgarian art. The palace was destroyed by the bombing raid in 1943 and 1944. However, all the paintings that it housed were preserved, and together with a loyal art collection already exhibited in the palace formed the stock of the National Art Gallery. Today, the collection includes both contemporary and national revival art, and also country's largest collection of medieval paintings, including more than 4,000 icons. 200 meters northwest is home to the National Archaeological Museum and occupies the building of the largest and the oldest former 15th century Ottoman mosque in Sofia. Officially opened and inaugurated in 1905, the museum's collection contains the most important artifacts from Bulgaria's cultural heritage of the past and the present. Here in Sofia, there's lots of beautiful museums and galleries, and they are really inexpensive, but most of them are pretty big, so you need at least about an hour or so to really enjoy it. And also, some of them close at around 5 or 6 on a daily basis. The idea for the creation of an archaeological institute with a museum was conceived among the exiled Bulgarian intellectuals in the 1840s and was among the top priority for the Bulgarian Literacy Society immediately after its establishment in 1869. During the interim Russian administration immediately after the liberation of Bulgaria, the first step towards the establishment of the National Archaeological Museum was taken. In 1892, the institution was de jure established through decree, and the assembly of its collection began the following year. The exhibit is spread over 2 floors with a collection divided into 5 sections. The first being the prehistory hall located on the lower floor of the northern wing. It displays a collection of items dating from 1.6 million BC and 1600 BC. The collection is chronologically displayed and includes various findings from caves around Bulgaria, tools of the earliest human who inhabited this modern territory, drawings, simple pottery, ritual items, and many others. Located on the eastern wing is a treasury section, including the grave inventory and other treasures from late Bronze Age to late antiquities. The main hall hosts a collection of diverse items ranging from ancient trends, Greece and Rome to the late Middle Ages. While the medieval section located on the second floor includes a gallery of medieval books, woodworks, drawings, metal objects, and other items or characteristics of the era. Also on the second floor is a temporary exhibition showcasing external collections from both other domestic and international sources. Facing the museum, you see the presidential guard standing outside the presidency. The guard changes every hour, but if you want to see the full ceremony, be here on the first Wednesday of the month at noon. That is when an official changing of the guard taking place, complete with music, shouting, and weapon vanishing. This is the official office of the Bulgarian president located inside the Largo building, one of Sofia's landmarks and as well as the seat of the National Assembly of Bulgaria and the Council of Ministers. Also surprisingly, a department store. However, the most interesting part of the Largo building is the underground. It consists of a metro tunnel to a Serdica 2 station. Instead of our billboards on the platform, passengers arriving get to see the stylish glass cases displaying some of the city's prehistoric and ancient artifacts. This is the home to an ancient Roman ruin and dating back to a period of 1st till 6th century AD, with an early example of water and sewage system, as well as ornately tiled floors.
This complex is actually a recent discovery between 2010 to 2012, and is a remain of a Roman city. It consists of Roman street, early Christian basilica, as well as 8 large buildings.
The ancient Roman complex covers an area of approximately 9,000 square meters. It includes an amphitheater, first discovered in 1919 and was constructed on top of a theater ruin which had been ravaged by the Goths. It was built in 2 stages during the late 3rd and the early 4th century BC, under the Roman Emperor Diocletian and Constantine the Great. Also on the site are a total of 8 streets, an early Christian basilica, 6 large buildings, a mineral spring, and a medieval church, all located at the underground level covered by a protective gaze roof. Near the other end of the metro station entrance, there's one niche building partially dug into the ground. The Church of St Petka of the Settlers features a semi-cylindrical vault discovered during the excavation after the Second World War. Also near the entrance of the metro station, you'll find one of the most recognizable landmarks in the city. Erected in 2000, standing on a spot once occupied by a statue of Lenin, the copper and bronze statue of Holy Sophia was named after the city's patron. Sophia means wisdom in Greek, thereby holding an owl in her left hand, a symbol of wisdom. In her right hand holds a laurel wreath, a powerful symbol in Greek and Roman for peace, success, and reputation. A short walk away you'll see the only working mosque in Sofia and as well the only remaining example of a building in Bulgaria with a dome roof on cubic base. The Banya Bashi means mini bath. Since the mosque is built over a natural thermal spa, one can even see the stream rising from the ground near the vent in the mosque wall. It was built in 1576 by the best-known Ottoman architect Mimar Sinan during the Ottoman military expansion. The muezzin called out the worshipper to pray 5 times a day with a loudspeaker on the minaret. Around 700 worshippers can fit into the mosque. The whole area surrounding is particularly lively on Fridays. During the service, a loudspeaker is used to broadcast to those who cannot fit inside. The central mineral bath behind the mosque is another landmark and it's known for its mineral springs. It was built in the early 20th century near the former Turkish bath that was destroyed. The building was used as the city's public bath until 1986 and was later restored to house the Sofia Regional Historical Museum. 500 meters to the south, you pass by the Eastern Orthodox Church of St Nedelya. This medieval cathedral has suffered destruction through the ages and has been reconstructed many times. The history of the cathedral's earliest years to a large extent unknown, but most believe the present church is direct successor of several small churches from the earlier times dating back to the 4th century, before the official adoption of Christianity. It's believed the original structure was constructed with wood and a stone foundation. Later church was built entirely of stone. Over the century, it has undergone 8 reconstructions. At the end of the 4th century, it was rebuilt and became the official city church. Unlike other churches in the city, a German traveler by the name of Stephen Garlish visited Sofia in 1578 and mentioned the church in his writing. Upon the suppression of the Chepotsi uprising in 1688, the church was destroyed and burned down by the Ottomans. At the end of the 17th century, around 1698, the church was restored with the help of the merchant and 2 monks from Mount Athos. In 1925, the church was once again destroyed by a bomb blast. This time, an assassination attempt on Tsar Boris III organized by the communists. Over 200 people were killed, although the life of the Tsar was spared. When the communists took power, it was decided the church be restored in 1950 and renamed the Villa Nedelya. The mural decoration was done by a team led by Nikolai Roslov between 1971 and 1973. The floor was renovated and the north colonnade was glazed between 1992 and 1994. I only had 2 days in Sofia and did as much as I could, but if you got more time, here's some cool places that is a little further. The Kambanite Park was established in 1979. That year was declared by the United Nations as International Year of the Child. An International Children's Art Festival took place in the park between August 16th to 25th, aiming to bring together children from all over the world. The event was known as the Flag of the Peace International Children's Assembly and was organized under the patronage of the UNESCO under the motto Unity, Creativity, and Beauty. There's also an artificial lake located nearby the park. The Lake Pancharevo was created in 1956 in connection with the construction of the hydro hub Axar as a drinking, irrigation, and energy source. But today is home to Bulgaria's national rowing base, the first modern facility in the country, specializing in conducting training and competition in rowing events. Over the years, it has hosted several world championships, national and international rowing regattas, and European triathlon championship. It was late, and it's time for me to grab a quick bite, not knowing my hostel provides free dinner and beer. So let's check out the food options, on budget of course. First, I need to check if their Chinese food is legit.
I'm really excited today because I'm going to have hot and sour soup. And this is it. It looks fantastic and I can't wait to try it, seriously. So, with that being said, wow, it's real. But they need to have a little bit more creamy. With that being said, I'm gonna go back and enjoy my hot and sour soup.
Next, some quality check on the American style pizza.
I do have high standards for pizza because good old American pizza always makes me happy. And let's see if it's that good old American pizza. So I'm doing it one hand. This is really hard to film and eat. It's not bad, but our American pizza has a very, very firm cheese. Their cheese is really hard. So I cannot leave Sofia without eating some local traditional food, and this is called Banitsa, and it's actually a Balkan pastry that's eaten throughout Bulgaria. And different parts of Bulgaria have different varieties, and there's areas that serve with spinach, and some area even with crabs. There's typically have cheese and meat, and they even have like sweet version of it. But with that being said, I'm excited to find out what's inside mine. Alright, so here goes. Cheese. I have to take another bite before find out what's in here. Heaven do exist. One bite at a time. It's cheese. I love cheese. With that being said, I'm gonna wish you bon appetit and have an amazing trip here in Sofia.
After filling up, it's time to head back to my hostel for a good night of rest for my early morning flight. If you're flying, I recommend you arrive at the airport no less than 90 minutes prior to your departure time. The most inexpensive way to get there from the city center is by metro, and it opens at 5:30 in the morning to midnight. The journey takes about 45 minutes. If you need to be there earlier, the taxi is the best option and only takes about 20 minutes provided there is no heavy traffic. And this concludes my visit to this magnificent city. I hope you have an amazing time in Sofia and wish you a safe journey. Thanks for watching. Divisionet.